Alright, welcome to my garden tractor Armada. So, I don't know if you guys will notice or not, but there's a bit of a gap between that blue thing and all the others. I just wanted to make sure that the riding lawnmower in the Dixon does not infect any of my garden tractors. And one other thing that might kind of stand out is the emphasis on all the green and yellow in this little collection. Now granted, there's two of them that are missing right now, which I'll pause the video here at the end and drive back to Ohio City to get the last two on the video, but I figured I would start out here and show you guys this group. So this little Simplicity 7010 was the first one that started this whole thing for me. This one was donated to me, just kind of partially running when I got it, and I got it running better for a while, but still wound up having problems with it, so I wound up repowering it with a clone engine for a while. Now I've got it back to its original 10 horsepower Briggs & Stratton, but still having some running problems with it. So hopefully in one of these years I will get it up and running again. One of the John Deere 212s. This one smokes kind of badly, but other than that it did wind up running pretty well. It just needs more work. This guy was actually my second, the first one that I had purchased, but my second garden tractor overall, Cub Cadet 86, and it was a little bit of a basket case when I got it, but nothing horrible. I was able to get it fired up pretty easy as I recall, but had to go through a number of things on it to get it to the point that it is right now. John Deere 300 runs, but has some issues with the carburetor. The throttle shaft is really wallered out on it. Somebody's taken some creative liberties on the exhaust system, but I've got a whole bunch of extra parts for this one, so maybe with any amount of luck that eventually I'll get that one going properly also. Craftsman 2, I don't know even what you call these ones. This is one of those that's almost right in the middle. Almost a riding lawnmower in my opinion, but not quite. Not my favorite by a long shot, but it works. This was the last garden tractor that I'd gotten a hold of. This was just an impromptu thing over the winter for $250. I couldn't pass it up. Running, driving, mowing garden tractor. I really like my 200 series John Deeres, but this one, you know, being the predecessor of the 200 series, is pretty much right there. It's proven itself to be very dependable so far. Good little machine. And this is the last thing to have gotten acquired. A little Dixon for 175 bucks. Runs, mows. It's not in perfect condition, but it's definitely good enough to serve our purposes out here for the time being. Of course, it seems to like to keep throwing that tire off, so I'm going to probably have to get couple of inner tubes for the little front caster wheels on this thing, but for 175, there was no way I was going to say no to this thing. With the maneuverability of this, it's pretty darn convenient. Let's see. This was the last mower deck that I wound up spending some quality time with. Or some real quality time. I think I also did that deck here not too long ago. Spindle bearing, or spindle, I think. Let's see. Well, I've got you guys out here. I'm going to go ahead and pause for a second and show you some of the excess parts. Alright, so let's see if I can remember correctly. So the top John Deere deck is one of the 200 series, and then the 300 deck is in the middle and another 200 behind. I don't know how well it's showing up on the video, but let me get around here. There is a 60-inch deck for Simplicity Sunstars and the Deutz Alice clones of them, and there's a couple of really crummy wheel horse decks in behind there, and a couple of Simplicity 7010 decks in behind there. So hopefully eventually I'll get around to tinkering with those, fixing them up and getting rid of the Simplicity and wheel horse decks, but the John Deere decks are going to get put to use on my John Deeres eventually. Let's see. I guess you really can't tell much of anything back in here, but essentially there's a fully disassembled John Deere 214 that may never get reassembled. There's also an extra John Deere 110 fender pan back there, a 200 series fender pan. Let's see what else. And then of course John Deere 200 and 300 series parts are up there, plus other miscellaneous. This has kind of become my garden tractor small engine warehouse of sorts, I guess you could say. Unfortunately, I got these dumb shelves in the way. Oh, there's a old wheel horse tractor frame that I had from the early days. Needless to say, I don't have things terribly well organized in here at the moment. I'm still trying to get, well, when I find time, trying to get things organized, but it's, kind of a process. So I'm gonna pause the video here, put the toys back away, and then I'll go back to Ohio City and get video of the last two. Alrighty. Here are the last two pieces of my garden tractor Armada. These guys were purchased from the same person. I hope the wind ain't messing with you, but I think the 210 is probably by far my favorite out of all the machines that I've got right now. Still needs a little bit of cosmetic work, but cosmetic doesn't really matter quite that much. And then this old 212 is kind of having some overheating related problems. I don't know if I've got carburetor mixture goofed up or ignition timing goofed up, I'm not sure, but it doesn't seem to have any problems in the winter. Just summertime when it's really, really hot, it starts to feel like it loses power. So like I said, it's either an overheating issue or the ignition coil is getting too hot. I'm not sure on that, but I spent most of my time working with this 210 out here anyways. So anyways, I figured I would try to get a little bit of these guys on the internet. It's been a long time since I've done anything with the entire fleet of garden tractors. So I'll catch you guys later.